Like check 1 2.
89.9 KMOJ. Today's R&B and throwbacks.
DJ, turn it up.
89.9 KMOJ, the People Station. What's up, Twin Cities? It is 1 after the 1 o'clock hour. I'm Glam Life Kim, and it is now time for Minneapolis 360
indeed.
with one of my favoriteest people in the Twin Cities, Mr. Milwaukee himself.
That's right. You know, I'm repping. I rep my city. I
see
love
you.
Minneapolis too. I don't get it twisted.
But Milwaukee is home.
Milwaukee is home. You know,
Yes.
Minneapolis is home, but Milwaukee
It is
home. Right? Yeah. How you doing? I gotta do that twice. Yeah, because you know I got family. You know, you can't switch your flags up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm blessed to be in this city, though. How you doing, sis?
I am blessed.
Yeah, everything
feeling
good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just came back from Paris. It was amazing.
Yes, look at you.
Oh my God.
We should just had a whole show on your experience in Paris.
Oui.
Okay. Now you bilingual now? Okay. Hey, Twin City, she done came back from Paris. Now she can speak French.
I know 2 words.
I know, that's all right.
Bonjour and oui.
Oui. That's all you need to know. That's good, man. Good time. I can see it in your face too.
Yes,
just the glow. That's
I'm
beautiful.
rejuvenated.
Yeah, man, that's the best place to go.
It is.
You know?
It is. And it wasn't even like a romantic trip because I was with my best friend and my sister. But it was still amazing. Like, we had a blast.
I bet you did.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy that you was telling me you went, and it was like, oh wow!
I gotta show you pictures.
I know that. Hey, y'all, man, Kim be doing it. I told you she'd be doing big things, and y'all know it though. She'd fly to Paris and come back.
Look, it's silence. Like, I be working hard though. Don't get it twisted. I work hard.
The people know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a good. I can't wait to share after the show.
I know, right?
All right, y'all. Hey, y'all, it is always my pleasure to be here. My name is Anthony Taylor with the City of Minneapolis. Welcome to Minneapolis 360. I am blessed to be here every second and fourth Wednesday of the month to come with you with some news to hopefully be able to inform your community. A little bit under the weather, y'all, so if I ain't got that crispy voice or I might sneeze a little bit, just give me some pardons. You know, it's crazy out here. But pneumonia, what do you call it? Pneumonia.
Right,
I can't even spell right. But pneumonia is going out, and it's cold and flu season. So just make sure
please
you
stay safe,
good.
you guys.
Stay safe.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Yes,
all of that.
Be proactive.
Yeah, be proactive, y'all. But listen, it is election season, y'all, and especially city elections coming up. And I got the perfect person to kind of talk about the elections that's going on. Why is it just strictly city elections? Our city council seats are up for grabs, y'all. I'll talk about it a little bit more. I want to get to, I'll introduce her. I want to get to just a couple things just to give us some information before we get started. I think a lot of y'all know about some of the stuff that's going on with the sale of the Roof Depot by the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute. That sale in South Minneapolis, it is being talked about. There's an agreement in principle of terms of the sale. I won't give you the kind of minutia about it, but it's definitely happening. There was a lot of conversation and some angry folks around that site, but check in on the Roof Depot if you really want to find that out. But that is a purchase agreement that's happening again with the East Phillips neighborhood. So how you get your information, make sure you check that out, y'all. Also, there is a free senior fair October 25th for workshops. It's an elected official panel, a resource fair, and a free lunch. Come talk to your electeds, talk about personal safety, crime prevention, traffic, snow removal, like all of those things that affect our community because it's important. And those are the people that make that happen. Listen, we're talking about elections, right? We're talking about city elections, and we're talking about changing up maybe some things. If you want some folks in there, you want some folks out of there. Local elections, y'all, is the way to get things done locally, Kim, in your community, period, right? It's not just what the president can do. It can what our elected city officials do, right?
Yes, yep. And so your voice can be heard.
And your voice can be heard, right? Absolutely. So that senior fair, y'all, is at 9:30 to 2 p.m. Wednesday, October 25th at Pearl Park Community Center, 414 East Diamond Lake Road. Y'all, come on out there and check that out. Listen, I've talked a lot about the free disaster preparedness training, free 2-day ready camp, 4:45 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, October 24th, same time, Wednesday, October 25th at the Central Library downtown. Talk about getting ready for any type of emergency, severe weather, tornadoes, medical emergencies. It's always good to have a plan. And we've talked about this before too, Minneapolis. Like, I'm finally, Kim, trying to develop my little emergency plan. I'm on page 1. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay.
All right?
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. So I'm coming up with a plan.
Okay.
But don't be like me, y'all. Get it ready and get right if you have to.
I need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. Free resource for suicide prevention and crisis help. You can call or text 988 if you have anybody who needs some counseling on suicide prevention. That is definitely important. Mental health support for anyone. Text 10-18 or Scrubs to 741-741 for some help, y'all. And we get into that season with mental health kind of takes a toll on us, especially the seasonal depression, Kim.
Yes, I think I suffer from seasonal depression.
I think I do too. I think all of us, and it might be different
we don't have that
scales.
sunshine,
Absolutely. And and it's Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of that money and stuff. So listen, you can always call y'all the 24-hour crisis line at 206-459-3020. So just want to make sure it's really, really important to make sure we take care of our bodies, our self-care, and our loved ones as well. And then lastly, y'all, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office is celebrating Domestic Violence Awareness Month. They have a panel discussion and resource fair coming up Monday, October 16th from 6 to 7:30 at North Point Health and Wellness. They'll have a light dinner, some kids activities. Really, really, really good panel resource fair. Please make sure you attend that. You can contact Jennifer.White at hennepin.us to make sure that you get registered. Any information, again, the attorney's office, Hennepin County Attorney's Office, is having the Domestic Violence and Awareness Month panel discussion and resource fair, y'all. So make sure y'all can tune in and go to that again, October 16th from 6 to 7:30. Listen, Kim, let's get cracking, right? Okay. Let's talk about elections.
Let's get to it.
I want to bring in a person from absentee voting team member, Maria Johnson, who's been on the show before. She's going to talk about elections and what's going down. I know she called earlier, like an hour and a half before, so I know she's anxious to get on the show.
She's proactive.
Welcome, Maria. Welcome
Maria.
to Minneapolis 360. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got to do work for elections.
Well, we it started back in 2016 where anyone can come in and vote early. You can come in and vote early before Election Day, and the office where you can come and vote is at 980 East Hennepin. And there's usually about 40 to 46 days before Election Day where people can come in, cast their votes. They're locked up until a certain day, and then then they're counted. I think this time it's going to be around October 17th. So people can come in and vote early. You have until the day before Election Day to come in and vote. You can come in from now until October 20th. The hours are from 8 to 4:30. Then beginning on October 23rd through the 27th, you can vote from 8. The office will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. On October 30th through the 3rd, they will be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will also have weekend hours beginning on October 28th, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 until 3. And then on Monday, November 6th, the hours are from 7 to 5, and then Election Day, the polls open at 7, and they close at 8.
Yep. So I'm gonna go back just a little bit, right? Because we'll give all that information to again, and it's great information. But let's back up a little bit and talk about why is this elections, and we're talking about elections are only involving our city council offices. So talk to people about that.
Okay, so the reason why we're having this election this time around is because back in 2020 we did the redistricting, and that was from the census, and so every area has their own, so there's 13 wards in Minneapolis, and then you have your elected city council. So because of that, that's the reason why we're voting this year. This will only be this time around. Normally we vote every 4 years, but because of the municipalities wanted this to, we had to do this sooner than later. But normally it is every 4 years, and this particular situation won't come around again until 2040. So that's the reason why we just have the city council on the ballot this year.
Talking to Maria Johnson about Election Day, and this is like a weeks away, but it technically is not really that long. Is there anything that voters should be like doing now? Because you talked about the early voting. We'll get into that. But like right now, if we're talking about October 11th, what should I be doing to kind of prepare myself for Election Day?
Well, like I said, you could come in, you can come in and vote now. If you'd like, early voting it's now underway. You can vote by mail if you prefer to stay at home, or you can always just choose to vote in person on Election Day. Research your candidates for your ward and precinct to see who is going to be on the ballot, and research and see who it is who's your choice. It is ranked choice voting, so you can vote for up to 3 candidates in your preference of order. And depending upon how your candidate ranks, that's who will become the candidate for your ward and precinct.
Yeah, and I want to jump into that a little bit, but I want to just say real quick, because that's important, because that's been happening over the last couple of years, and I think some people still might not kind of grasp that a little bit. Just to go back quickly and recap, you talk about people can vote now. Tell people, what are benefits to, voting now, right, instead of Election Day? What are those benefits? I can say myself, just thinking of it, a couple reasons, right? But what's the benefit?
Well, the benefit is you're voting, you're getting it out of the way, and also on Election Day, a lot of people like to work in their precincts, so and they may not be scheduled to work at their own precinct.
You mean like election judges, right?
Election judges, right? Yeah, and so it's best for them to vote early. Anyone, and if you've got something going on Election Day, if you're going to be out of town, you're not going to be around, you have a business meeting, there's those reasons for you to vote early. Election, sometimes Election Day can be very busy. People may not want to be in the crowds this way. You've got all this time to just come in and vote. There's plenty of time to vote before Election Day.
Yeah, absolutely, because sometimes those lines can be long. It may not be as long as kind of the general election, but excuse me, still at the end of the day, it's pretty long.
Correct.
Maria, one thing you said, and I want to kind of have you dig into a little bit, right, is the fact that you talk about ranked choice voting. So dig into that to people, because it's not just who has the most votes wins, right? When we talk about ranked choice voting, that is not it. So break that down a little bit for us.
So ranked choice voting it's a voting method for the candidate in order of your preference. So this allows you to rank your vote. So your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. This allows your vote to count toward another candidate if your favorite candidate loses. So, for example, if your first choice candidate doesn't win, your vote is transferred to your second choice. And that's kind of how that how that goes. And so when the voting period is over, all the ballots are cast and the first choice votes in all the races are counted. If no candidate has the required number of votes to win, which I believe it's 50%, then candidates that have the fewest first choice votes are eliminated. And people who voted for those candidates then have their second choice votes counted instead. And then if a voter's first and second choices have been eliminated, then that voter's third choice vote is counted. So the elimination process continues until a single candidate in that race has enough votes to win.
Okay. It's super confusing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like how I feel about that. You know, even if it's a first or a second choice or a third choice. I mean, well, I guess the question is, do you have to vote with ranking?
Great question.
Yes, that's the way it's done for the municipal. Yeah, that's the way it's done.
Okay. Okay.
And you don't have to have the first, second, and choice first. You can just vote for say if you vote for one candidate, your first choice, then it's going to count for that. It doesn't. If you vote the same person 3 times, it doesn't.
That's not going to happen.
Make that. No,
Yeah.
It doesn't make that vote go. It's only the first choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see a lot of questions that our community has, and we've been through this before, so this isn't anything brand new. I just want to make sure people who may be first-time voters need to understand the ranked choice voting, and you might see the statistics, and numbers might look like this person won this because of these many first-place votes. It's just really confusing to folks. So Minneapolis, please dig into information you can find about ranked choice voting. Great information, Maria, so not on you. I just want to make sure that I think if I'm a community member and I'm not really, well-versed in this, I need to find out more. You would agree with that, wouldn't you?
Right, and just go to the Secretary of State website. It's pretty extensive with information where you can go in, and kind of look at that website and get more information. Okay.
Talking with Maria about elections, really good information. Maria, if I have a mail ballot at home with me and I want to apply to vote by mail, like what's my deadline? What's my timeline to get that in?
So the mail vote, people can drop their ballots off, I believe, up until the election day, until 8 p.m. to drop their ballots off. But you want to get your ballot in, earlier. The sooner you have your ballot ready, the sooner you want to get it in, so it gets counted. So if you have your ballot at home and you're kind of sitting on it, and if you're still undecided, and you can always come in and vote, and we would not count that mail ballot. We would discard that ballot and use, if you're coming in person, so you can come in person. But if you choose not to vote by mail, you can always come in person, or you can wait till election day as well.
Absolutely, good information. And what if I make a mistake on my ballot? What's my options, or if I lost it? Or to even be more specific, what are some of the mistakes people make that may get their ballots disqualified?
Well, so there you have to have a witness that signs your ballot, that signs your application when you're, trying to get your ballot in. So sometimes that's a mistake. And people can call the office by calling 311, and then they can ask for a replacement ballot as well. Okay.
What are some of the mistakes you see, Maria, on these ballots that says, this is not, we can't count this? Or is there anything like that?
Well, signatures. Signatures are very important when you're even when you're here in the office. We need your signature. That's very important. And we also need to have someone witness your signature. So those are the 2 biggies that are always an issue with mail-in ballots. And so if you're in person, it's easier because the person is standing in front of you.
Right.
But if you're mailing your ballot in, you have to be very careful just to follow all the directions, and so that your ballot does get counted, and you don't have to get a replacement.
I just want to make sure, there was a lot of stuff with ballots on the last really big election, right? So I just want to make sure that folks are aware that signature, y'all, you got to sign it. We want you to vote, and that's the biggest thing that you can do to make changes in your community. And Maria, one of the things that I really enjoy about the early voting center is the fact that folks are there who have been trained. They know exactly what to do. They've had a little bit of cultural training as well, but really are good folks there. Just talk about the work behind the scenes before we kind of get into the information on times and those type of things. But just talk about the work that election judges have been doing even before this whole process started.
You mean prior to doing early voting?
Absolutely.
Well, early voting, so there had to always be a reason for early voting prior to 2016. So up until that point, the office, is staffed with election judges, and like you said, there's the cultural pieces. There are interpreters here for persons who don't speak the English language. And like you said, everybody's very well trained. There's, you have the persons who are doing the mail. The mail comes in. That's a different area. I'm on the in-person side. There is the mail side. So they're staffed on both sides. So is there anything else you want to know?
No, I just wanted to make sure that folks that reassure Minneapolis residents that these election judges take their job seriously. Kim, this is official stuff. I know that there's been some cultural training with our department as well to a few of the election judges. So I just want to make sure that folks are reassured that folks there are ready to assist and to serve folks.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can bring someone with you if you you can always have an assistant come with you if you need that extra additional support. We also have curbside, if there's persons sometimes who, are struggling to not want to come in, we also serve you in your vehicle as well. So there's that as well. Great
options. Maria, I got two more questions for you. I'm going to save the early voting center times, but how do I register to vote? What are my options?
Well, you can register online, you can register online. I'm trying to see. I forgot what the deadline is. I think it's around the 20th. That you can register. Yeah, the deadline is usually 21 days before election that you can pre-register online, and that gives you all the options of what you need and how to register online.
Yep. So that pre-registration deadline is Tuesday, October 17th.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, people have up until then to register, and you can register on the day of. We're registering people all the time. Right. Just making sure that people have the right. We have the right information to register, and we make it we make it very, very easy. We try to make sure that we don't turn anybody away. People can be vouchered as well if they don't have a particular item with them. If someone lives in the same apartment or in the same household and knows them, they can vouch for that person as well.
Right. Bring them too.
Yeah. Maria, can you also let the listening audience know that if, in case they do need to register or update their registration, at the voting center, what will they need to bring? How?
Well, we need a photo ID. We need to have the current address of where you're staying. So, normally people will have their driver's license that does have both the photo ID and the driver's license. Their address. But in the event that, say, you just moved or, you don't have your address, you can bring either a copy of your lease. We accept the different utility bills, bank statements. We need something that verifies your address of where you're staying, where you live.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. That's good information and great question, Kim. Because we just don't want to be turned away. We got to come with our stuff.
Let's be proactive. Especially if you wait to the last minute. We want to make sure that you have everything that you need to get it done.
To get it done.
Right.
Hey, Maria, close us out. Talk about the early voting center hours, and I know you talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the show, but just kind of like let's close out with those times and those hours and dates.
Okay, so right now up until October 20th, we're open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So then starting on October 23rd through October 27th, we'll be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then on October 30th through November 3rd, we will be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then we do have weekend hours, too, which begin on the Saturdays and Sundays before Election Day. So that Saturday, I believe, is October 28th. So October 28th and the 29th. So Saturdays and Sundays, it'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that would be the 2 weekends prior to Election Day. And then on Election Day, we will be open the day before, we will be open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was closed this Monday for Indigenous Peoples Day. So
correct.
Absolutely. And Melissa, Maria, just real quick, about 30 seconds, how can I find out the results, right? Do I got to wait 2 weeks? What's going on?
Well, the results, I think you find out, you can go to the Secretary of State, I think the following day after Election Day is when the results are posted.
Yeah, these will come up really fast, right? Mm-hmm. So the 8th, we'll know, right?
MNvotes.gov.
MNvotes.gov. You can go and check the Secretary of State's website. You can or watch your TV, right? Watch your social media, right?
Right. Yeah. And usually they're posted, I think, by the next day. So you can do MinnesotaVotes.gov. And that's the state's website.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Appreciate you taking the time today. I know you got a busy next couple weeks, so
for sure.
Yeah, taking the time out is really appreciated. And just real quick, why does this kind of motivate you to work around elections? What keeps you going with this?
I've just learned a lot about the process and how important it is for us to vote, and it's like you said in the beginning, it's your local elections that are just as important as the presidential. So that's what I've learned, by working here, and then just the process of what it takes to, get these votes counted and get people registered, get people voted.
Yeah.
And it's really, good to have this early, hours, the days prior to election for people to come in and vote, just being here for them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I appreciate you. Maria Johnson talking about elections. Hey, get some rest.
Oh, yes. You're welcome.
All right,
thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Minneapolis, if you do not vote, you don't count.
It does not count.
Right?
It does not.
Please vote and do what you got to do. I'm gonna turn it over to you to get us out of here, man. I'm having some troubles over here.
Oh man, I hope you feel better, bro. I'm gonna have to get you some good stuff to make sure we get that immune system.
Yes. Close us out. Good to see you, sister.
Oh, you as well, always.